The child tragically killed inside an East Point home has been identified as 4-year-old Kamaiyah Perdue. The East Point Police Department confirmed DeMarcus Perdue, the child's father, is now charged with murder. Police tell us a gun was fired inside one of the Martell apartment homes off Norman Berry Drive. This all happened on Sunday. A child was rushed to the hospital where they later died.
On December 31st, New Year's Eve, East Point police responded to a home on Norman Berry Drive inside of the Martell Homes apartment complex for reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, they would locate an unresponsive young girl.
Now, just a few minutes ago, I got off the phone with East Point Police. Now, they haven't released the name of the victim or the person officers arrested, but they do confirm that they were both inside the home when the shooting happened. Now, police tell us that they responded to a call Sunday evening at the Martell Homes community off Norman Berry Drive for a child being shot. They tell me a 4-year-old child was rushed to the hospital but died. And they made an arrest. Dawn Harris was nearby and says she was outside when it happened.
It was like when it first happened. I saw the fire truck, the little bitty truck. I said I knew something happened. But to know that it's a baby.
When a child is shot, unfortunately, usually it's someone has left a gun lying around the house unsecured, at which point we wish and plead that people please secure their weapons in their homes so things like this would not happen.
The victim was identified as 4-year-old Kamaiyah Perdue, who was rushed to a nearby hospital where she was sadly pronounced dead just a short time later after succumbing to a gunshot wound to the head. East Point detectives quickly determined that the deadly shot came from inside the home, from a weapon that was left unsecured. Police were unsure of who had direct access to the firearm, but quickly announced the arrest of Kamaiyah's father, 28-year-old DeMarcus Perdue. According to the warrants, Perdue left the scene before officers arrived, but later admitted in a police interview that he'd left a 9mm handgun sitting on the windowsill before taking a shower with Kamaiyah's mother. They were together when they heard the sound of the firearm being discharged. Perdue then ran out of the shower and observed Kamaiyah laying on the bedroom floor, suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. He then picked her up and laid her on the bed before disposing of the gun and shell casing. He then fled the scene, with family members eventually leading officers to his whereabouts. Kamaiyah's death marks the second instance of a child being killed by an unattended firearm in 2023. Many of the residents in the community were saddened to learn what happened, and like police, stressed the importance of securing weapons within your residence. Family members were devastated by Kamaiyah's unexpected death and held a private candlelight vigil to honor her memory.
East Point police say the man they arrested and charged in the New Year's Eve shooting is the little girl's father. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us from East Point Police Headquarters with more on this tragic story. Angelique.
Tragic indeed, Christine. Now, East Point police say the father was the owner of the gun. They say he was at home at the time that the little girl got a hold of the weapon and shot herself. Family members are having a tough time after learning 4-year-old Kamaiyah Perdue is gone. East Point police say the child shot herself with her father's handgun on New Year's Eve at an apartment here at the Martell Homes apartment complex in East Point. Police arrested Kamaiyah's father, DeMarcus Perdue.
We believe that the child got a hold of the gun at the time, and I do know 2 adults were in the residence.
Sergeant Watkins says when police arrived, DeMarcus had already left the scene just minutes after the shooting.
He had left the residence, and some other members of the family that were there advised him of what had occurred, and that led us to him.
Family members tell us Kamaiyah's mother is devastated about the girl's death.
He's been arrested and charged by our detectives with murder in the 2nd degree, cruelty to children in the 2nd degree, and tampering with evidence.
Police accused suspect Perdue of moving the weapon from the original location where Kamaiyah was shot. They have advice for gun owners who have children.
If you do have small children in the residence, please lock up these weapons so an incident like this may not occur.
Following the shooting, police stressed the importance of securing weapons from children, as did Georgia State Legislator Michelle Au.
Frankly, I think it becomes inexcusable to not act at a certain point.
Au has proposed legislation that would make it a misdemeanor for adults to allow unattended guns to fall into the hands of children. She's also proposed a gun-safe tax credit.
I think that as we continue to talk about it and as we continue to raise awareness of the issue, that we are able to make some progress and find some common ground so we can keep kids safer.
The case comes just months after 2 children, ages 1 and 7, died in separate accidental shootings.
A GoFundMe was created to raise funds for Kamaiyah's unexpected funeral expenses. 28-year-old DeMarcus Perdue has been charged with murder in the second degree, cruelty to children in the second degree, and tampering with evidence. Perdue waived his right to appear in court and is currently being held without bond. His next court date is scheduled for January 24th. The case remains ongoing.
Can you tell about what happened? It was Sunday afternoon, is that correct?
Sunday afternoon, about 5:39 p.m. if I'm correct. We responded to a call in reference to a juvenile that was shot. Officers arrived on scene, located the juvenile. He was transported by Grady EMS from the scene to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead.
How old was she?
She was 4 years old.
All right, so a 28-year-old man is being charged in connection with this. Can you say his name, the charges he faces, and why he's being charged?
Yes, ma'am. It's DeMarcus Perdue. Child cruelty in the second degree, murder in the second degree, and tampering with evidence.
So what circumstances was little Kamaiyah found in?
She was found with a gunshot wound in the home at the time.
And where was the gun left, and how was she able to get it?
That hadn't released yet. That's one thing I'm not going to release at this time until detectives clear me to do that. It's still part of the active case.
Okay.
Can you talk about the circumstances surrounding it? Just what you know so far. Did she find the gun? Did another child in the home find the gun? Can you talk about that?
As far as we know, she found the gun.
And what happened?
Unfortunately, she was not sure at that point in time when she found the gun what occurred after that.
And we're hearing that I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We're hearing that the 28-year-old is that Kamaiyah's father?
Yes, ma'am. That is his father.
So we're hearing at first that he tried to hide the fact that she shot herself. Can you talk about those circumstances?
I can't about that right now. No, ma'am.
Okay. So how were you guys led to him then?
I believe by another family member who was on the scene that led us to him.
So you can't talk about the tampering with evidence charge?
No, ma'am, not right now.
Okay.
It's still part of the active investigation there.
Can you tell us if any evidence was removed from the scene?
Yes, ma'am. Evidence was removed from the scene.
Okay. When officers arrived, were both parents there?
That I'm unsure of.
Okay.
How many people were in the home? How many children?
I'm not sure. I've been told on that issue either.
What are the takeaways? You know, you hear this every so often, it happens. What can we learn?
The main thing is please lock your weapons up. Because in this case and any other case, you never know when a child's going to get a hold of it. And if they haven't been properly trained with it, they don't know what it is and how to use it. And unfortunate circumstances like this come from that.
And what do you say to people who say, well, if it's in a box, you can't get to it, if someone's invading your home or threatening you in traffic? What do you say to people who always say that, and that's their concern?
That is a concern.
That can lead to negligence.
Still, though, unfortunately, this is the negligence that when it leads to the death of an innocent child. I understand their concerns with it being locked up, but it keeps this situation from happening. And if you're in a home by yourself, understandably. Anytime you have children present, please lock it up.
Can you give us full spelling, Kamaiyah's name, the correct spelling?
I don't have that.
Okay.
Yes,
is it the same last name as DeMarcus?
I'm unsure of that, too.
Okay, so just...
They haven't released a name to me yet.
Okay, so let me just get this straight. So you guys got a call. Police arrive. They find a 4-year-old child with a gunshot wound. Do you know where she was shot?
No, ma'am, not this time.
Okay, they find her with a gunshot wound. And then what were the adults at the scene saying? So when she mentioned the tampering with evidence charge and that items were removed from the home, just walk us through like what happened.
The only thing I've been told is the adults were not in the room with her at the same time. That she was basically by herself inside the residence, but they were in the residence, just not in the room with her, or she was under watch, being watched either.
So when you're talking about the tampering with evidence charge, was it that he was trying to hide things that could lead to him being the owner of the gun? Like, where does that charge come from?
Yes, ma'am. It could be just the fact of trying to hide the weapon or trying to hide anything, evidence that goes with the weapon and the incident that occurred.
What kind of conversations should firearm owners have with their children or any kid in their vicinity?
I would definitely have a conversation with them as to what it can do. I mean, even break it down and show it to them. A lot of times, if as long as they know what can happen from it, hopefully they won't touch it, and then what it's only used for.
Was he the legal owner of the firearm?
That I haven't been.
Is he registered to have firearms?
That I haven't been told yet. As far as I know, he's not a convicted felon, so he should have been able to legally have the firearm.
Now, we were there. We found a bullet hole through one of the windows there. Can you confirm the apartment that it was?
I can't.
You can't.
Yes, ma'am.
Was there anything else you want to say or add that we didn't ask you that you think viewers at home will want to know?
No, ma'am.
All right. Sergeant Watkins, thank you so much.